You know, all the headlines seem to be screaming about crypto's volatility, right? But while everyone's been distracted, a really quiet but massive shift has been happening behind the scenes. Asia's wealthiest investors? They're moving into digital assets in a huge way. And honestly, the reasons why are probably not what you think. So, what's really going on? Let's dive in.
Okay, let's just kick things off with this number, because it really sets the stage for everything we're going to talk about. We're not talking about a small group of early adopters here. This is a clear majority, 6 out of 10 high net worth individuals in Asia, looking at the market right now and deciding, yep, I'm buying more. That's a powerful statement from a group of people known for being incredibly strategic with their money.
So, you've got to ask, right? Why are some of the world's savviest investors getting so bullish on crypto, especially now? And what does their confidence signal for the future of this whole asset class? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack a new report that answers those exact questions.
And here's the key finding, the big takeaway. This isn't just market noise or some passing fad. The data is pointing to a calculated, long-term, strategic pivot. A shift this big doesn't just happen by accident. It signals a deep belief that digital assets are going to play a major role in the future of finance.
All right, so let's move past the headlines for a second and really dig into the hard data. These next few slides, they paint a really clear picture of just how deep the commitment to crypto has already become with this influential group.
I mean, just look at this. An incredible 87% of Asia's high net worth investors already have crypto in their portfolios. That number is huge. It shows that for the wealthy in Asia, crypto isn't some weird fringe investment anymore. It's become a standard part of a diversified portfolio.
And they are not just dipping a toe in the water. The average allocation is 17%. Now, to put that in perspective, a typical financial advisor might suggest putting maybe 5 to 10% into all alternative assets combined. An average of 17% in crypto alone, that is a major, major statement.
And you might be thinking, oh, it's probably just a few billionaires throwing the average off. But nope, not at all. The commitment is broad. Nearly half of all the investors they talk to have made a serious choice to put more than 1/10 of their entire wealth into this space. That's a really strong sign of widespread belief.
So, we've established the what and the how much. But the most revealing part of this whole story is the why. What is really driving this massive flow of money into digital assets? Let's get into the real motivations here. For years, the story around crypto was all about speculation, right? Chasing those crazy 100x gains. But as this slide shows so well, the perspective has totally matured. The old view is about high-risk gambles. The new reality for these investors is about preservation. It's a tool for long-term strategic planning.
And if you need one statistic to really let this sink in, this is it. This is the knockout punch. 90%. That's an overwhelming consensus. The goal has completely shifted from getting rich quick to making sure that wealth lasts for generations.
And you can see this thinking in the assets they're actually buying. They're concentrating on the big names, the blue chips of the crypto world. By focusing on market leaders like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're picking assets that are seen as relatively safer bets, which lines up perfectly with a strategy focused on preservation, not just wild speculation.
So, when you boil it all down, the strategy really comes down to these two powerful drivers. Diversification is the tactic, not putting all your eggs in one basket, moving money outside of just stocks and bonds. But intergenerational planning, that's the grand strategy. That's the ultimate goal of building a portfolio that can weather any storm and be passed down.
You know, this calculated shift by Asia's elite isn't just about their own personal portfolios. It's a massive signal to the entire market. What they're doing is helping to speed up crypto's evolution from this retail-driven thing into a legitimate institutional-grade asset class.
And when we say institutional product, what does that really mean? Well, think of it like this. The financial plumbing is finally being built. We're talking about regulated exchanges, secure custody, clear rules, all the infrastructure that big professional money needs to feel confident and safe enough to come into the market.
This whole maturation process isn't happening in a vacuum. It's being actively supported by these pillars. You have financial hubs like Singapore and Hong Kong creating clearer regulations. And that clarity attracts professional services, which in turn provides the security and legitimacy that sophisticated investors demand before they're willing to commit serious capital.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? The bottom line is this isn't speculation anymore, it's strategy. We are witnessing a deliberate reallocation of wealth by some of the world's sharpest investors. And their actions are one of the strongest signs yet that crypto has finally earned its place as a legitimate part of a modern portfolio.
Honestly, this data from Asia feels like a preview of what's coming for the rest of the world. We've seen the established wealth of a massive economic region make its move. This suggests the global conversation is changing. So the question is no longer if other big institutional players will follow, but when, and just how quickly is this all going to happen.